Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today we are celebrating the birthday of a little girl, Orla, who turns 1 today. And Orla has been very much part of the Cracking the Cryptic story for the last year, because she is the daughter of Alana and Stuart. And some of you will know Stuart better as the pedaling pianist. And I had the pleasure of meeting Stuart's whole family last weekend in Stratford. I've got a picture. Let me see. I've got a picture of Orla as well. Happy birthday, Orla! This is me with the pedaling pianist and Orla last weekend. I can't believe it was a week ago already that we had that wonderful, wonderful time in Stratford upon Avon when we did a live edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Actually, I've got another picture. Let me just show you this one as well. This is Heather and Derek, if I remember rightly, who I met as well. I met so many of you. It was an absolute treat for both Mark and for me. We loved every minute of it. We're sorely tempted to do it again, frankly. But anyway, that's for another time. Anyway, it's Orla's birthday. Now, one of Orla's favourite people is her grandfather, Stephen. And Stephen is also a Sudoku constructor, as well as, I believe, a fan of chess problems, like, mate in 7 from here, and you have to work it out. Anyway, Stephen constructs under the name Bellal, and this is one of Stephen's puzzles. It's called Giraffe Hunt 2. And this is what I'm going to have a go at today. Now, I think I have seen this rule before, but I'm not sure. It is an absolutely bizarre rule. Apparently, in fairy chess, there is a piece called the giraffe. And the giraffe can jump, and it's like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, except it can really, really spring. So, that knight's moves we're used to. So if this cell was a chess knight, it could jump here. Then I can't remember what sort of one more than that's called. There is a name for that type of jump, isn't there? But I don't know what that is. Anyway, a giraffe apparently is that one to there, or that one to there. A 4x1 move. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers. Anyway, that is what's going on in this puzzle. Those 2 digits, for example, cannot contain the same number. And this is what we're going to have a go at. Apparently, this is quite hard. Make of that what you will. You'll be able to tell how difficult I found it, assuming I can solve it at all by looking at the length of the video. But we're going to have a go at Bellal's puzzle today. To celebrate Orla's grandfather's, to celebrate Orla's birthday by doing her grandfather's puzzle. So that is what we'll have a go at in a moment or two's time. Apparently, it is a brilliant puzzle. And let me think about what else I've got to mention. 2 things. We are going to be streaming again. We had a week off last week, but for various reasons. But this coming Wednesday, the intention is we're going to stream at 10 p.m. UK time. More Temetse. And we've been enjoying that. Thank you if you've joined us on our journey through Temetse so far. It continues Wednesday night, 10 p.m. UK time. We'd love to have your company. And then the other big news, of course, is what's going on over on Patreon, where we have Duality II from the Skunkworks, our new Sudoku competition. So many of you enjoying these puzzles. The puzzles are tremendous, and there are a lot of them. I think 16 in all. So, absolutely fantastic. And if you do manage to finish all of them, there is a prize this month which might interest a very few of you, but you'll have the chance to make a Sudoku video with me where we'll solve a puzzle together. So if that sounds interesting, do get involved. The closing date is the 20th of the month, and that is all. So with that said and done, let's have a go at Giraffe Hunt 2 and see what Bellal has in store for us. These are the rules of the puzzle. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Anti-giraffe. Cells 1, 4 apart cannot contain the same digit. So we've already looked at an example of this. So let's make that square green. This, if it was a giraffe, couldn't go, well, it could go there. See, this is really difficult. This is really awkward for me. Is it just those that it can't go in? I am so not used to this. In fact, if I have done if I've done a puzzle with this rule before, I can't remember. I mean, I have done some fairly peculiar puzzles in my life, but I'm not remembering that rule. Anyway, Kropke dots. Cells joined by black dots contain digits in a 1:2 ratio, which means one of the digits will be double the other. So if this digit here was a 2, this square here would either be 4 because 4 is double 2, or 1 because 2 is double 1. That's how black dots work. Cells joined by white dots have a difference of 1. Okay, so they contain consecutive digits. So look at this. If this was 2, this would either be 1 or 3 to be consecutive with 2. Digits along a thermometer increase from the bulb end. So we've got one thermo, 1, 2, 3, 4, a length 5 thermo. So you don't have to go up in steps of 1. So if this was a 2, you don't have to go 3, 4, 5, 6. You can miss digits out. That's absolutely fine. But you do have to make sure as you go up, you keep getting higher and higher. So just as mercury rises, as we look at real thermometers, Sudoku digits rise as we move along thermometers in these puzzles. Killer cage. The digits in the black cage. Oh yeah, okay, this is a different colour. The digits in a black cage sum to the small number at the top of the cage. So those 3 digits sum to 12. And clone cages. The blue cages contain the same pair of digits. So those digits are the same as those digits. That's a very strange rule. And that's it. So I've heard of, what's that children's book called? We're off on a bear hunt or something. We're all going on a bear hunt. Well, today we're going on a giraffe hunt. Apparently for the second time. Giraffe Hunt 2, do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play Let's Get Cracking. Now the great thing about this puzzle is I can at least see how to at least pencil mark some things at the start, because a sequence of 3 black dots is a rare treat for us in variant Sudoku. Because what we're saying is that, well, there's a series of doubling relationships, isn't there? So imagine we started here with the digit 2 and we kept doubling. 2, 4, 8, 16. We can't go back to 4 because we'll repeat them. That won't work. So the only way this sequence of black dots can work is if it goes 1, 2, 4, 8. Which means these 2 squares, we don't know which one of these is high, but we know that the extreme digits, the 1 and the 8, are going to be sort of at the ends of the sequence, with the 2 and the 4 in the middle. And that's going to be the same here. So at least we can immediately start the puzzle. Now, what does that mean? That means, see, I'm totally not good at working out how far these giraffes go. So the giraffes go here. So those 2 digits can't go in those 2 squares. Is that right? I think it's right. 4, 1. Yeah, okay. So whatever that digit is, it obviously can't go in its own row, and it can't go in its own giraffe jump. So those 2 digits don't go there. Those 2 digits don't go there, which might affect that one a little bit. And yeah, okay. That's at least a 3, is what this is telling us. The blue digits can't go in the bulb here. And 1 can't go in the bulb. So the bulb is at least 3 on a length 5 thermometer. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not brilliant, is it? Although 3, 4 doesn't work there because of Sudoku. Hang on, let's actually, I don't like to do this. That's a minimum of 3. That's a minimum of 5 because it can't be 4 by Sudoku. 6, 7 is fine. There's no 7s ever on black dots. What about, there are a load of 8s, but I don't think the 8s quite reach far enough to hit that cell. So that's 8 or 9, I suppose. So this is 3. Ah, does that have to be 3? Oh no, I think it does actually. Yeah, imagine this wasn't 3. Then this would be at least 5 then, because it can't be 4. Now if it's 5, the thermometer is going to go exactly 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the 8's here is going to be impossible. So that doesn't work. So this is 3. This has got 2 options. So this is either 7 or 6. This is either 6 or 5. And that's either 5 or 4. But that can't be 4 apparently. So this is actually 5. That's 6. That's 7. See, if you're a pencil marker of thermometers, you could have got to this much more quickly than I get to. I tend to do thermometers in a very strange way. It became apparent the other day. No, I was about to say that's interesting, but it's not, is it? It would be interesting if it was a 9. If it was a 9, it would have to go in those squares. But if it's 8, we don't know because it's in one of those squares. Oh, good grief, I've got no idea what to do now. What should we do next? Do we know... This is a sequence of 4 consecutive numbers because of the 3 white dots here. And we can't put 1. It doesn't start with 1. If it starts with 2... No, it doesn't start with 2 actually. This might be worth exploring, this little 2x2 here. Because the low digit, whatever that is, I think it's now not 1 or 2. Or 3 actually. Because let me just show you why. If you put 1 here, you have to put 2 in the second position. And there's already a 2-4 pair looking at it from my blue square. So it's not that. If you start with a 2, if this is a 2, this will be a 4. If this is a 2, this will be a 4. That doesn't work. So you're not starting with 2. You're not starting with 3 because then you're immediately going to put a 4 in the same column. So this is at least a 4. 5, 6, 7. So I can see 4 works. I'm not sure 5 would work because isn't 5 going to go round and put an 8 in one of these squares? 5, 6, 7, 8. And the 8 will clash. So it's either 4, 5, 6, 7 or it's 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's not 6, 7, 8, 9 because that's beautiful because look at this combination. That rules 8 out of this domino. Oh, bobbins, I've just seen a totally different way of seeing this. Okay, here is a much simpler way of doing this, but I didn't spot it until I was just pontificating. Look, this is a 2-4 pair. Now look at this domino here. Now the nature of a consecutive pair of digits is that it must contain an even digit. Any 2 consecutive numbers will contain an odd and an even digit. Well, what's the even digit that goes on this domino? It's not 8, it's not 2 or 4. So it's 6. And then you can't have 8 here because of this. So it's not much quicker, but that would have been a more elegant way to see that. So this is 4. So this is a 5-6 pair is what we've learned. This is a 4-7 pair. Whoopsie, I don't want to do it like that. I want to put those in the middle. And that means... Bellal, is that Doctor Who? Or is that Diablo? There's somebody called something like Bellal in Diablo, I think. But I have a feeling it might be a Doctor Who character as well. I can't remember. Anyway, sorry, that's a digression. What do we do now? We can say that we've almost used up all the clues in the sense that we've got... I mean, a 12 gauge is horrendously open because you can put a 9 in a 12 gauge. but you can put any number of mediocre combinations in 12 cages. What were the blue cages? They were clones, weren't they? So these 2 digits are the same as those 2 digits. Ah, so they go in there by Sudoku. Though, yeah, that might be worth thinking about. Let's just orangify these. So these digits, you can see by Sudoku, they're purple, aren't they? So these are from, well, okay, they're from 5, 6, and 7 actually. They can't include 4. Because 4 appears already in both boxes. This, oh, no. That just is a 5 by Sudoku. So there must be a 5 up here in one of those squares. That's not 5 anymore. 5 by the nonsense rule. Where does 5 go by nonsense in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So it goes in one of these two. Oh, hang on, we can do the same thing here, can we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So 5 is in one of those 2 squares. And oh, no, that's a 7. It's the 7. That's lovely. That's very clever. Yeah, okay, so the 6, 7 horizontal fixes that one, and the 5, 6 vertical fixes that one. So this is 7. That's 5. That's 7. Oh, come on. That must do something. Hang on. What is that doing? I can't do this rule at all. 7 is up there. 5 is in one of those. Oh, I'll tell you what, 5 is not on a black dot. If you try and put 5 on a black dot, this digit would be 2.5 or 10, neither of which are valid Sudoku options. 7. Oh, 7 can't be there. So 7 is in one of 2 places. Good grief. 7 is in one of 3 places, I think. If we can just work out, if we can just work out the orders of these, it would be so much more helpful. I keep looking at that and thinking that's sort of Tigger bounce rather than a giraffe bounce is useful, but it's not. It's very, very difficult to move my brain out of Knight's move through Tigger moves into giraffe bounces. Let's try. We could look at. This is saying these 2 can't be 2s or 4s. If that was a 2 or a 4, it would clash here. So this black dot digit, what is it? It's either 1, 3, 6 or 8. Because 5, 7 and 9 can never appear on a black dot. Now it might be that we can do better than that. Or it might not be that we can do better than that. 5. I see. So when we've got 1 here, that bounces, it just misses out a whole box. That domino there, you don't even look at it there, it just bounces straight onto that domino. So all you really get from these dominoes is eliminations in those squares. So 7 is in one of 3 places in box 2 because that's 7. Oh, hang on, no, it's better than that because that's 7. No, hang on, let's look at 7 a bit further because 7, What I was going to say is that this 4, 7 knocks 7 out of those. Now that is true, and I was looking at that 7 and thinking it's knocked out of those. And I was looking at the black dot digit, which is why I've put the 7 in those 3 positions. But actually, that 7 is corresponding with that digit there by giraffe. So 7 is so that's not 7. 7 is vertical in a domino. Oh, actually, that's very pretty. Right. 7 jumps across boxes, just. So that's, if that was 7, neither of those could be 7. Because it would be exactly the right giraffe jump. So we've got another 7 in the grid. That's 7, that's 7. That's 4, 5, 5, 6 by Sudoku. Now, what's that doing? That is doing... Well, it's knocking 6 out of here. That's something it is doing. Oh, 8? No, that's too far. The jump is too big. 2, 4 come out of that. 5, 6 come out of that. Oh, that 5 is seeing that one. Good grief. You've got to be so careful with this. That 5 is now jumping 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's those, isn't it? That 5 can't go on a black dot. So 5 in box 5 is a bit restricted, I think. I'm trying to see if I can actually do any better than that. What about... Yes. Yeah, this is really hard to see. I'm not very good at this, but but look, that 5 jumps to there by dint of giraffe move, so that's not 5. So 5 is vertical here. 5 is vertical here. Don't tell me that doesn't do anything. I think that's not going to do... Oh, maybe it does something in this box. 5 is now in one of 3 places. But can we do any better than that by jumping our giraffes in there? We could say that that one isn't hitting that one, is it? That's not a big enough jump. Oh, goodness me, this is not straightforward. It really isn't straightforward. That 5 idea, that felt very, very nice. Now, why is that not doing anything? Is it something to do with... I don't know where to look, sorry. Oh, come on, pull yourself together, man. This can't be that difficult. Let's do 6 is in one of 2 places. In fact, what are the digits we need to put in here? 3, 6, 9. Yes, there we go. 3 is in one of those squares. It's Sudoku. 3 is in one of these 3 squares, but that one's too close. That one is too close to doing it. 3 is in one of those squares, so 3 is in one of these squares. Again, although this 3 you feel it should do something, it's too close to affect the pencil marking. But a 3 in one of those takes 3 out of those squares. Seven can't go on a black dot. That's 7. Oh, I see. Oh, good grief. Where is 7 in box 5? It's a question not many people will ask, unless desperate, but I'm going to ask it. Where is 7 in box 5? I think there's one place. That 7 takes out those by Sudoku. Black dots can never contain 7. Now watch this. That 7 sees that square by nonsense. That 7 sees those 2 squares by nonsense. That is a 7, which is definitely not consecutive. Well, that's a 7 now as well, but that's definitely not consecutive with 7, is it? So this is an even digit, and it can't be 6. That's got to be 8. Oh, please, no, it doesn't. I was suddenly thinking I was going to get these digits done, but no, that would be a step too far. That black dot now is not 4, 8. Does this 7 see anything else? Oh, look, I can double click 7s. That's got to be a good idea. No, I've got 7 7s. That's ridiculous. I've got... No, I don't think they're resolved. I've got these 7s left over. And I don't think that's the right... No, that's not far enough, is it? Let me just look at this again. Are these resolved somehow? I don't think so. I think this one looks like it's trying to resolve them, but I don't think it can be, because it would be resolving them into the same row if it did if it was dealing with size jumps like this and this. So that's almost certainly not right. So what about... So if that was 9, then that would be an interesting thing. That would be fascinating. If that's 9, where do you put 9 in row 5? That digit there. Because it can't go in any of those squares due to the nonsense. 9 can't go on a black dot. And rather prettily, where would 9 go in this box? There is where it would go. So it couldn't go there in row 5, and 9 would go here in a 12 cage. 9, 1, 2. What's this digit? That digit is either 2 if this is 1, 6 if this is 3, if this is 8, this is 4. Now, can we do anything with that? I can do Sudoku. This is resolved. I've got a 4 here. Sorry if that's been available for ages. That's going to be helpful. 4, 2, 1, 8. No, I was wondering if that could force this to be a 3, but it doesn't, does it? Because that's pointing at these squares. So the 8 comes out, but the 1 doesn't necessarily. This is quite restricted now. This column is quite restricted as well. Whereas 1 in this column is in one of those 3 squares. Does that affect anything? That affects this row, doesn't it? You can't make that a 1. No, okay, that's fine. That clearly isn't a 1 at the moment. 1, 8 is those 2. 8, 8 is in one of those squares by Sudoku. 1, oh no, that doesn't work. 1 is in one of those squares. Actually, this one must see one of those positions. It sees that one. So there's a 1 in this domino. This isn't resolved, is it? Have I resolved that somehow and I've just not done Sudoku? I'm not sure. I just don't know. Goodness me, this is I think this is very difficult actually. 3, 6 and 9. So this is 6 or 9 by Sudoku. This is 3 or 9 by Sudoku. What about over here? This is 6 or 9 by Sudoku, which is similar to that. They can't both be 9s because that would eliminate the ability to place 9 in box 3. So a maximum of one of those is a 9. At least one of them is a 6. Which might be useful, I don't know. Oh, what's this black dot actually? Because I have got a few black dotable digits already now in column 3. So this digit is either 2, 4, 6, I'm going to say. So this digit is either 1, 2, 3, or 4. Yes, 4. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Oh, that's horrific. That can't be a 6. No, that can be a 6. That's not a far enough jump. Simon, will you learn? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. How do we do this? 6 in this box? That 6 is knocking out those, isn't it? So 6 is a little bit restricted. Now, does that somehow... No, it doesn't. It doesn't. 6 is in one of those 3. Cool. Okay, where's 6 in row 5 is a question I'll ask now. It's not there and it's not there for very similar nonsense reasons. If this is 6, I can't put 6 in box 8 because all 3 of those positions would be illegal because of the nonsense rule. And if this is 6, it's doing the same thing in box 9. So 6 is in one of 2 places. Now we might be able to do better than that. If that's a 6, that's a 3. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I've probably got to do Sudoku, haven't I? That's probably what we're not... Oh, look, I've got a 5 here. Oh, hang on. Yeah, where's 5 in this box? We just have to do Sudoku. This is a 5. Right, let's double-click 5s. Has that revealed anything to us? No, apparently not. 5 is not there anymore by Sudoku, so that's a 5. You see, if I can get the 5... If I get the 5 into the 12 cage, these 2 squares would add up to 7. This would be a 1 in the middle of the grid. Can we have a 1 in the middle of the grid? I'm not sure actually. I can have a 1. That's really interesting. Let's look at that square for a moment. In fact, why don't I replace that with that? Look at that square in this box. Well, it depends what this digit is, but if it's 1, 1 can't go in that cross because of Sudoku. 1 can't go in those 2 squares because of nonsense. So 1 would go there, and this would be a 2 by black dot, and that would be a 9. And there might be a reason that's impossible. But I'm not sure I know what that reason is, I'm afraid. Okay. Maybe that digit is restricted in a way I'm not understanding. Well, yeah, okay. This digit is not 2, I've just realised. It's simpler. If that was a 2, where did you put 2 in box 2? If that's a 2, you can't put it anywhere because it can't go on that black dot, apparently. I'm not sure why. Oh, because it's not. It's because of the giraffe move. Right, so this can be 1, we thought, didn't we? But only in a very specific set of circumstances that I wasn't able to rule out. If it can't be 2, we've just worked that out. Can it be 3? Probably can be 3. I'm trying to see why not. I mean, there could be a reason. Don't know. Probably can be 3. Can it be 4? Probably. No. No, it actually can't be 4. If it was 4, it couldn't go in this box. Ah, this is interesting, isn't it? Okay. In fact, 4 is not there, but that's right, isn't it? So 4 is in a domino here. I hadn't noticed this either. Can we do more with 4s, perhaps? 4. I don't know. Anyway, this can't be 4. It can't be 5. Can it be 6? If it's 6, that's a 2. That's a 4. Oh, that doesn't work. Yeah, it's not 6. Because you can't, we've just worked out there's a 4 in there. And if that's a 4, it doesn't work. And I'm saying if this is 6, then these have to add up to 6. So that would make this 2 and this 4, and that would break there. So it's not 6, it's not 7, it's not 8. Can it be 9? We've got this really restricted now. If it's 9, this is a 1-2 pair, isn't it? Now, if it's 9, I don't know. Silly. Oh, okay, I'm going to do this backwards. I'm going to do it backwards. There we go. I've done the puzzle. I've done the puzzle backwards. Right. I'm not going to look at this square anymore. I'm going to look at this square. That's fair. That is totally fair. This is actually beautiful. It wouldn't surprise me if this is right and how I'm meant to do the puzzle. I just have been totally not thinking about it this way. Right. That square there is definitely not a 3. For actually, it's very pretty. It's very pretty. If this is 3, that makes this 6 by black dot logic. Well, then the only digit I can put in the middle is 1, because these have to add up to 6. And obviously, if that's 3, that's 3. And if that's 9, that's -3. That won't work. So if you go 3 here, you have to put 1 here. But we were thinking about where 1 goes in this box before, weren't we? And we worked out if this was 1, it had to go there. So it's... Hang on, so I could have got this a few minutes ago, couldn't I? I'm suddenly realising. Well, no, it was difficult. It was difficult. We had to, because you have to limit. Yeah, we have to limit our understanding of how this cage works. So I'm happy. I don't think I missed something terribly obvious. But it does mean this can't be 3. If this is 3, that's forced to be 1, and you can't put 1 in box 2. That's very pretty. So that's 1, that's 2. Now, what does that mean? That means that the 1, it might mean we can place 1 in this box, actually. Because the 1, in theory, that 1 sees that square, doesn't it? Because it's just over a box away. And that 1 sees that square. So I think we have to put 1 in the corner. So we get 1, we get 8. We get a 1-7 pair in column 7. Can we do 8? How far is this thing jumping? It jumps to the middle, doesn't it? So 8's going in one of those two. Oh, see, look. And now that 8 pokes in there. It's really hard to scan. I won't take any. I know you're going to be shouting at me about this, but I'm sorry. I just don't think it's easy to see these relationships. This is 8. Now, what does that mean? Let's be careful. This is knocking 8 out of those, so that actually doesn't help me very much. Where's 8 in the middle box? 8 is not. 8 is in one of those 3 positions, but I'm sure we can do better. I've just got to somehow spot how. And I don't see how to do that. That might be my own fault. Oh, I tell you something. Here's an interesting point. If that's a 2, these add up to 10. Well, I tell you, that's not a 5 then, because this would have to be a 5 as well. So 5 is placed. So 5 is placed here. How many 5s have we got? All of them. All the 5s are done. Okay. Well, that's rather good, probably. We could therefore we could do something else. What else have I got to put in this box up here? I've got to put in 2, 3 and 9. Okay, let's fully pencil mark this because that's not 2. What about... So this one is 2, 3 or 9 as well by Sudoku. How could this be 3? It can't be, because then I couldn't put 3 in box 1 at all. So it's 2 or 9 now. Now, if it can't be 9. It can't be 9. Again, if this was 9, where would you put 9 in this box? You could put it in, but it would have to go there. But then you couldn't put 9 in this box. I suspect there's an easier way of seeing that, but what that tells us is this is 2. So this is 2. Right, so now now we get the 2 in this box because of the funny old move. That giraffe can jump to this square, so 2 has only got 1 position. Now, so that means that 2 is in one of those 2 squares, but can we do better? It would be really useful if we could get it on the black dot, wouldn't it? I think this could be either. I think it could be either. What about... Oh, see, it's so close to being resolved now. I think it really is close. We're getting to a point in the puzzle where I almost feel we're sort of 1 or 2 deductions away, and we'll be doing relatively well. What about 3, 6 and 9? Let's have a look at this row. I'm just going to put all the pencil marks in and then hope to spot something. These squares are the equivalent of these squares, aren't they? Oh no. What about 4? Do we know which one of these is a 4? I know one of them is a 4. Don't think we do we? Bobbins. Oh dear. Bobbins. That's what we have to say. Okay. So, I tell you something. Those add up to 10. So that can't be a 3 because that would need a 7 above it. So this is... Oh, that's good. Right. That's a 1-9 pair now. That's the only 10 pair left. So that displaced an 8 and puts an 8 here. Which means 8 is in one of those 2 squares. And that means this is not 1 anymore, because we've got this 1-9 pair. If this was a... I don't know actually. This can't be 2 because of the 2. So, oh no, that doesn't even work. Oh, bobbins, hang on. Right, 3, 4, 6 into these squares. That is useful. That is useful, look, because if this is a 3, 4, 6 triple, that seems to be making that square a 9. Which means this is not a 9. Oh, chocolate teapotted, properly chocolate teapotted in box 1. Now, what about this column? We haven't put 1 and 2 into it, have we? So these are a 1-2 pair. Now let's try and understand what that might mean. It's definitely moving 6. Let's get rid of the 2. This can't be 3. So 3 has moved over to one of those squares. Now that one doesn't see them. 6 has moved into one of these. So 6 is in one of those. Now, here we go. That can't be 1, because that would knock these out, wouldn't it? I think so. So that's 2. That's a 1. Now that one still lands over there, that giraffe. So this is an 8. And that means that's 4, 2, 1. This is 1 by Sudoku of all things. Now, surely that's done something. This 1 jumps to there. So this is a 1. I think that seems right. So that's a 1. That's a 9. 9 in the middle of the grid after all that. 9 is in one of... Well, 9, where does it go in this row? It's got to go here now. So that's a 3 apparently. Oh, this feels like it might be... We might be in a bit of clover here. Let's see. How do we do this from here? Can I now get that digit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yes, I can. That's got to be 8 now. So this is 8. So that's 7 if I trust my pencil marking. Now, I'm not sure I ought to. That's 7. Okay. And now I need 2, 4 and 9 over here into these squares. 2, 4, 9. Now, is there a way that we can figure that out? And in this column, maybe? That can't be 8, obviously. I need 3 and 9 into these squares. So I'm going to fully pencil mark this. And that means these squares are 2, 4 and 6. This must be resolved somehow, mustn't it? Whoops. 2, 4 and 6. Okay, that's not 2. This column, is it done? Not sure it is actually. That square, it doesn't bounce the right distance. Okay, so we've got to go 4, 6, 8. So there's a 6, 8 pair here. That should be a 4. So this is not a 4. Now this row must be done. Yeah, that's a 9. That's good. So that gets me a 6 here. So these squares are a 3, 9 combination, and it's probably resolved, but I don't immediately see how. This is not 9. This is not 9. 2, 4 combination. This is a 6. This is an 8. Oh, please work. This is a 4. This is a 3, 6 pair. Oh no, that's chocolate teapotted again. So these squares are 3 and 6. And there's going to be something poking in from somewhere, seeing something. And that's going to be how we have to resolve this. But I don't know where to look. What we could perhaps do... No, that doesn't seem to work. 3, 4, 9 here. This is 3 or 4 apparently. Oh, that's useful if that's true. Is that actually true? 3, 4, 9 in this column? That seems to mean this is 3 or 4. That seems to be 3 or 4. So this is not 4. This is not 4. This is a 2, 6 pair. That is 4. That means this is 4 in the corner. No song. That's 2. That's 2. That's 6. That's 9. Ah, this might be it. 3, 6, 9 goes into the grid. If that's 9, that's 3, that's 6. Now, what does that mean? That's 3, that's 9. So this column needs 6 and 9. I'll put them in, and then we can stare at them together. Is there something sneaking its way into some of these squares? I can't see it. It might be. Oh, but that's 6, isn't it? So the black dot tells us that's 3 and that's 4. Ah, so that's 6, that's 4. That's 6, that's 9. That's 9, that's 3, and that's 3. Good grief. That is a very, very clever puzzle, actually. It really is. That I found that very hard at certain stages. Oh, it's right. That's good. So 23 people have solved it in 12 days. Now, let's go back and just explore one or two things about that puzzle that I thought were incredibly clever. I actually really like the clones pinching into here. That was the first thing that I really thought, wow, that's very nice logic. I really liked the fact, was it a 7 or something? I can't remember if it was 7 or 5 in this box that was restricted. That was very clever. But my favourite bit was realising that there was this weird interaction between the central cell and this black dot and this 12 gauge. The way they all worked together on this box was really beautiful. It's a very, very clever step in a very nice puzzle indeed. So Bellal, Stephen, well, really happy birthday to your granddaughter. I hope you enjoyed watching me battle with your puzzle. I don't want to see any more giraffe moves for quite some time. I'm going to go and have a stiff gin and tonic. And with that said, let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.